Stephen Bork is here with S&J Associates, and I'm out here in beautiful Lodi Lake in Lodi, California. Today's guest is Mr. Travis Castle. Travis, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Good to see you. Travis, first of all, I just want to take this time to say thank you. Thank you for being so respectful at the NAACP debate at the church.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. So having said that, I've got 4 questions and 4 questions only.
Okay.
First question for you, sir. Since you're running for the county, District 4,
yeah.
What are you going to do about the voter ID, voter fraud situation? What can you tell us about that?
So voter fraud's a common thing that people talk about, right? So I don't have power to deal with that on the county level. I can ask for different things at higher levels.
Okay.
But here's my thought process. So my son is 18 years old.
Okay.
As soon as he turned 18, they automatically enrolled him to the draft. How do they do that? They identified that he's an adult male, he's a legal citizen, and they enrolled him automatically. I wish they would do the same thing for voters. You automatically enroll to vote. Whenever you pass away, you automatically unenroll. And just like a driver's license, just because you have a driver's license doesn't mean you have to drive a car, right? Mm-hmm. So if you choose to vote, great. If you don't, you don't. And this would be a great way of avoiding fraud. So that'd be my answer for you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect answer. Huh. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay. So my second question would be homelessness.
Yes.
It's a big, big issue. And it's all over the country. It's all over the place. What can you do about the homeless situation?
So I think obviously everybody wants to identify why they're homeless and all these things. Here's the problem. Politicians promise and pander, but they don't produce. And homeless is a great example of this failure. Our Access Center here in Lodi, they spend $2 million a year on it. There's no job training. How are you going to get out of homelessness without job training? So we could talk about all the other things, but we need to empower these people. So the very first thing I'm going to do is leverage my relationships with the building trades, and put both union and non-union job training right in the shelters, Lodi, Stockton, so we can elevate these people into career paths. Plumber, electrician, 20 different career paths, get them taken care of. Because right now, what we're doing is we're essentially shuffling shells. They have them on the street. They have affordable housing that they're spending $300,000 per unit on. Then they put them in there. So by definition, they're no longer homeless, but they still are. It's because they're in temporary housing. They're sheltered. So there's been a 156% increase in homelessness over the last 4 years. We had a slight improvement, but it's still not good enough, right?
Right.
And a lot of the reason for the failure is how they spend the money. My opponent bought this golf course in Stockton for $10 million. Didn't do the research on it before he bought it. With the ambitions of turning it into a shelter. Well, California real estate is very complicated.
Okay.
And to turn a vacant lot into like commercial or residential housing is very difficult, let alone a golf course. So they abandoned the project a year later, and that costs the taxpayers over $11 million in total. So we can't have wasteful spending like that. We have to use things purposely. And we can't build endless tiny homes, right? Because that's not the fix, especially since they're about $300,000 a piece. Mm. So we can't give people every single thing, and our young people like my son, he can't afford to rent an apartment here in Lodi. He can't afford to live in Stockton even.
Right.
So in Stockton is slightly cheaper, but now he's living in Florida. So this is the problem. We're losing our youth because of our inefficiencies.
Right. Right. You're absolutely right. Hit it right on the nail. So my third question, sir, it would be crime. It's off the hook. It's cold, stupid. What can you do about crime?
So one of the things that this kind of goes into homelessness as well is we need to get rid of aggressive loitering, aggressive panhandling. Okay. That has to be at the top of the list.
Okay.
So how do we deal with that? We need to, and you can imagine the cascade of implications once that happens and what happens. So if you own a business and somebody's panhandling in front of your business all the time, people are going to go use Amazon instead of going to you.
Right.
So we're losing a small business. So that's a problem. But as far as public safety goes, we need to hold people accountable. Well, right now the police, they're pretty much, it's not their fault.
Right.
It's like basically catch and release. They're more like bass fishermen than police officers, unfortunately. So we have to hold people accountable and actually put them in programs and get them off their addictions and out of the trouble. So what I would like to do is work with Ron Freitas. If you commit a petty crime, you may not be eligible for prison, but we're going to drug test you. And if you test positive for anything, even marijuana, I don't care. You go to rehab.
Okay.
Because your addiction is causing the problems. Another thing I want to do is, in Elk Grove, they have what's called public safety officers. So they work with the police department. They're part of the police department. We did talk about this at the debate.
Right.
With the NAACP, and my opponent was like, that's private security. I was like, his listening skills are not really there. And his research isn't either, right? Because the city of Elk Grove, they're employees. So you don't need a police officer for somebody who is loitering. Why waste the overtime? Why waste their time with it and their expertise, right?
Right.
So what we need to do is have these public safety officers that are trained. And they're more like social workers. So we send them out there. We save taxpayers money because we're not paying for police overtime. So it actually pays for itself. We can stretch our dollars further, and we have a greater impact. But it's going to be a combination effect. And I'm looking forward to working with the sheriff and the different police agencies and finding solutions. And I think as a team, we can make a big difference with this.
Outstanding, sir. Bravo, Zulu. My last question to you, sir, is jobs. We need more jobs, more than ever. We really just need more jobs. As a board of supervisor, what can you do about bringing jobs into the county?
So one of the main things we need to do is attack not only jobs, but also affordability.
Okay.
So right now, we don't have a lot of building going on. Part of the problem is we don't have the workforce for that.
Okay.
So working with the building trades, we're going to provide union and non-union job training at the shelters, like I said earlier, but I'm also going to expand that to the high schools.
Okay.
Currently, there are some high schools that have that, but not here in Lodi. So at Tokay and Lodi High, put it right in there. They got 20 different career paths. So instead of them going to college and spending $100,000 to figure out what they can do, they can actually get free job training, free, non-taxpayer funded, right? Free, where they can go right into the workforce, get started off at $25 an hour. They can be a journeyman, plumber, electrician, whatever they want. And we can career train these people. With these new people that we have trained, instead of bringing outside labor from Montana and Texas is what we have now. And the Bay Area, we can use our people. We can build more efficiently. We can build more housing. Another way I'm going to deal with the housing crisis that we have, let's call it what it is, right? Okay. We're way behind on building. So I'm going to add more people in the permit department. So I'm going to add more so they can process the permits faster. I'm going to add more inspectors so they can inspect the job sites faster. Okay. And they would also identify if there's a problem. There's different home builders, and I'm not going to mention them, that have defects that come up years later. Well, this also will protect the consumer. So this create more jobs through building and more industry. And the more people we have build up, the more businesses are going to want to come in here. I want to make myself very clear, though, because things get taken out of context, right? I do not want to turn Lodi into San Francisco. We're not going to have sky rises.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but we have, single family and a few multifamily, like some apartment complexes built here and in surrounding areas.
Okay.
And we can just get those built up, and we can add a lot of jobs there, which will have a cascade in the economy. Because if they're living here, they're building here, they're spending their money here. And if we're also working with the police departments and sheriff, we decrease crime, so people will go out and shop. They go out and eat instead of doing Grub Hubs and different things like that in Amazon. So,
Gotcha.
So it has to be a total systematic approach, and that's what my main focus is on. I want to create progress through process.
Wonderful. So I'm assuming you're pro-union then.
I am, but let me tell you something. My grandpa was a union member. He was with the cement finishers, so he was actually homeless. So he lived in this truck after the Korean War because he just didn't have anywhere to go.
Okay.
And I know this will shock you that the government doesn't take care of their veterans, right? So they didn't take care of them back then. Nothing's really changed, unfortunately. So he was working with the cement finishers, the local 400 in Sacramento.
Okay.
And so he started working with them. They job trained him, got him taken care of. After he was job trained, he was able to buy his ranch that I had the privilege of growing up on and helping with the cattle. He was able to build his own business, and he ran a non-union company. So, yes, I do believe in the unions, but I also believe in balance. I think it's important to have balance. So if you look at PG&E and SMUD, when you only have one choice, it's not really always a good choice, right?
Right.
So I would prefer different choices, similar to how we have cable TV and internet services and cell phones. So we have multiple avenues that we can choose from, and that would maintain a competitive bidding process. And I think we have to do that.
Yes. So. Balance. Absolutely.
Yes.
One more thing. May I shake your hand?
Of course.
Thank you, sir, for doing this. Thank you for doing this, really. And just between you, me, and the CIA, I already voted for it.
I appreciate it, brother.
So anyway, Stephen Bohorquez here with S&J Associates saying, thanks for watching.